Hi everybody, welcome to the first draw for the Watercolour Whiz. In this draw we've got everybody's name on the actual Watercolour Wizard roulette wheel that has uploaded an image into the Google Gallery, and they've submitted their image for critique, and they could also possibly win a prize of my PDF magazine or a watercolour image of one of my animals. So what I thought we'd do is we'd go in reverse order. So the first 3 people that get picked in the roulette wheel will be receiving their choice of either a magazine or an animal print. And what you can do while you're waiting, if you want to, is look at the links that are in the chat box alongside, and those links will take you to the 10 animals that I'm offering and the 10 magazines that I'm offering as all as printables. So without further ado, I wish you all luck and thank you very much for entering. Let's spin for number 1. Oh, so well done, Alison. Alison, you won a print or a magazine. Congratulations. I have to take you off now, Al, and I will spin again and see who else is going to win something. And Jude. Congratulations, Jude. A magazine or an animal print is your choice. Let's see who the third one is going to be. Jeanette. Congratulations, Jeanette. Pick a magazine or an animal. Well done, and I'll have to remove you now. Okay, so now we're on to the 3 people who are going to get a video critique of their actual mushroom, and that will be aired on Friday the 5th of January, which will be following on directly from this roulette draw that I'm doing now on the 31st of December. Okay, so let's see who the first of those 3 critiques will be. Good luck. Paula. Okay, Paula, I'm going to be reviewing and critiquing your mushroom for you. Congratulations. Who is next? Oh, and it's just gone across to Sue. Congratulations, Sue. You'll be having a critique as well. To remove Sue now. Okay, so last spin for the last critique. And Britt. Superb. Okay, I'm really excited now to be going off shortly, and I'll be doing your critiques and they'll be visible in the next few moments, but in fact there'll be a delay of a few days while I do that. So thanks everybody for entering. I hope you're going to enjoy the critiques that will follow in this video, so bear with me. Again, thanks for everybody who entered. Sorry if you weren't a winner this time, but we'll be doing this every month, and so I hope you're going to keep on entering your paintings and enjoying this little new endeavour. Thanks everybody. So the first person we've got up for the critique is Britt, and this is Britt's original mushroom. If I just zoom in a bit more closely for you. Okay, it's a beautiful, whimsical looking mushroom, Britt, and what I've said is this: a superb, shiny, conker coloured cap with great tonal contrast. We're going from this lovely shine here, blending really effortlessly and seamlessly out into the more darker parts of this lovely cap. I feel you've got lovely contrast with blending and a lovely lifting technique there for the highlight. I feel you've got lovely spots of copper green paint in amongst the brown as well, and that's echoed a little bit in the actual stalk here. You've got some of that sort of turquoise, coppery, greeny blue there as well. I feel like the pose is very jaunty, and as Terry said in the Google Gallery, it looks wind blown. It looks almost like the wind's going to blow it, you know. And I feel like I could cup the cap in my hand. It's a very tactile looking mushroom you've painted, Britt. I like the lost edges you've got on the cap there as well, with similar tones, say with the shadow of the gills and the shadow of the foreground cap. And all I'd suggest is possibly more decisive stalk work, in that we've got some paler washes and then some more darker washes going on top. So maybe commit to maybe a darker right hand side down here, and possibly some softer blending in places, maybe a little bit more softer blending, if I can zoom in, under the gill area, only because that pulls my eye to the back of the mushroom, you know, before the front of the cap, if you see what I mean. So if you just blended in those in places, not all of them, just so that my eye doesn't jump straight to the back. But that's nitpicking, you know, these are really small comments, you know, but just little extra things. I'm just helping you to maybe think about that as a possibility. You can take or leave whatever I say in this critique. Okay, and so all in all, Britt, an excellent whimsical rendition, and thank you for your entry. Now before I let you go, let's see how your mushroom looked in grayscale. You see? So here we can see the actual arrangement of light and dark and mid on the mushroom without the interference of colour. And so your mushroom stands up really quite well to being stripped of colour, because the tonal values are easily readable. And then let's just look a little bit further how your mushroom looks when I'm pushing it to extremes, when I'm only allowing it to have 3 tones, light, mid and dark. And see, it's still holding together pretty well, and overall it's very readable. So Britt, thanks very much for entering. I hope you're going to continue to take part in Watercolour Wizard. So now we're going to move on to Paula. So Paula, an absolutely beautiful set of colours that you've used here, really unusual and very, very unique. So we've got a beautiful turquoise, a deep turquoisey teal, veering towards more of an ocean blue, and then a sand colour. And in areas there are patches of green. And what I've said is this, Paula: it's ethereal and meltingly lovely. It really is. It's got an otherworldly feel thanks to the superb creation of soft edges and bleeds that you've achieved. And you've played the full range of tones across the whole of the study, with the mushroom seems to reach upwards to the sky and downwards to the ground because of those dissolving areas that you've created, I'm assuming by using a spray, a fine mist spray. I admire that slight crimp in the right hand side, that little crimp there. That helps me feel the mushroom's texture. It's lovely. And the paint granulation around this area is really effective too. You've got beautiful echoes of pale sand colour in the stalk and under the gills, so that sort of ties in, it adds harmony to your painting. And you've got effective dark scratches in the gills where you've scratched out paint there in that shadow, as well as in the stalk in some places, and that gives lovely texture, as well as this mottling and some circular sort of accents you've got on the top of that cap. So I've got very few suggestions, as with Britt, very few suggestions, but we'll just nitpick, seeing as we're going to do this crit thing. I would just suggest going a teeny bit stronger with tone along the stalk, and let me show you why. Let's look at Paula's grayscale. Okay, it holds together, yes it does, but I think it could have a tiny little bit more strength in this area of the stalk. Okay, and again we can see that lovely lost edge there. It's more visible in the grayscale, isn't it? Lovely lost edge. And I love the way that the lost edges are going into the ground. That's a beautiful touch. So what else have I suggested? The shadow directly under the cap, continue to come down a bit more. Maybe it ends a little bit high up. And let's have a look at the posterized grayscale and see what I mean. It's even more exaggerated here, Paula, because I've only got white, grey and black on your mushroom now. Okay, and as you can see, the part of the stalk that seems to be lost, and it's more or less over half of the stalk. And again, there's no right or wrong. If that's the look you wanted to create, that is absolutely fine. But if you did want to see that and maybe feel, okay, maybe I need to have a bit more of the body of it look invisible, then I could simply darken that tone, but it's entirely up to you. Okay, and the reason I said that is just to give it overall balance. Okay, but it's an absolutely magical version, Paula, so thank you for entering. And now we've got Sue's. Sue, you've done a lovely, I'd say he's a sturdy woodsy chap. He's got lovely qualities of that typical bollette mushroom feel, and I feel it's got quite an illustrative feel to it. I might see this type of work in a botanical book about woodland fauna. And I think that it's got a sense of power in that bulbous stalk. There's definitely power in there, the way you've got that shine here, then a bit of soft shade under there, and then a bit of a sort of a bump here with your shading. It's really gorgeous. Lovely rich colour and tonal transitions in the conker coloured cap. Really beautifully done. Nice generous application of pigment there. And I love the warm swoosh of sienna reflecting the light from the florist floor coming up on the left hand side of the stalk too. And similarly, the brown lines you've got on the stalk here, these echo nicely the gills that you've got coming under the cap, and you've blended those away nicely, and so my eye sort of stays, you know, this is sort of the main front of the mushroom, and it's showing those gills, but not too hard. Okay, so that's quite nice there. And yeah, all I'd suggest was, again, if we look at your grayscale, nothing much to suggest, same as with Brit and Paula, nothing much to suggest, just fine nitpicking now, okay? Right, so what I'd suggest is maybe go a bit darker under the cap and stay darker for a while down the right hand side of the stalk to add a bit more curve. Now, you know, it's perfect as it is really, Sue, but I'm just pushing the limits again. Okay, maybe a bit more of a dark accent near the base as well to anchor it to the ground. And the reason for my saying this is, look, if we look at the posterized grayscale, okay, you've got this is the only sort of area of real dark. Okay, you've got your white highlights, then you've got your mid-tones, which are there, and then the dark is thin, and so I would suggest bringing it a bit further down, maybe about there, and maybe carrying it a bit more down to the right hand side. Again, Sue, there is nothing, you know, wrong with this mushroom. It is beautiful, but I would just, for artistic sake and practicing sake and whatever on all these skills, maybe add a little touch of that black, you know, along the base a little bit. Okay, just seeing how far you can push it. But Sue, it's a solid study of a mushroom, and thank you so much for entering. So thank you everybody. I think it was really lovely seeing these three first Watercolour Wizard entries for the critique, and I think everyone's very brave in entering their work and having them critiqued online. I hope you've enjoyed watching and just being inspired to keep on doing the Watercolour Wizard with me and submitting your work. Just to recap, Any donations that you make or Watercolour Wizard paint-along packs that you buy entitle you to 1 entry into the current month's Google Gallery, and donations and packs can't be carried over if you haven't done them by the last day of the month. It would just be a logistical nightmare for me to try and manage all of those different permutations. So when you make your donation and get your pack, make sure you paint your mushroom, you know, as soon as is conveniently possible, and get your mushroom in on the gallery. So I really appreciate your support with this endeavour, and I shall see you in the next one.